appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and get started with introductions. My name is Stephanie Moretz. I am the Scholarships Coordinator and Accelerated Admissions Recruiter here at the RCOE. And I am joined by three of my colleagues, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'm Woody Trathan. I'm the Chair of Reading Education, Special Education.
I'm Rebecca Shanklin, and I'm Graduate Program Director for Special Education.
Hi, I'm Beth Fry, and I'm Graduate Program Director for Reading Education.
Wonderful. And usually we would go around and introduce ourselves in our space here, but since we're all via Zoom, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and we'll answer some questions for you guys along the way. So feel free to drop questions in the chat box too as we go along. We got three wonderful professors here that will be happy to assist you in any questions you may have. So this is an info session for Accelerated Admissions. Thank you for coming. Excuse me. Accelerated Admissions is a program for qualified current undergraduate students here at Appalachian State who wish to be considered for early admission to participating degree programs here on campus. So basically, Accelerated Admissions is exactly what it sounds like. We accelerate you into graduate school. And we do that by you filling out an application, and in that application, you will receive an attribute that will allow you to take up to 4 graduate level courses at the undergraduate rate, which I'll talk more about in just a moment. Here are some of the participating programs that we have on campus. As you can see, there's more than just the 3 we offer here at the College of Ed. But the ones we're going to focus on tonight will be the reading and special education. And I am next to a fire department. I do apologize. So what are the benefits of taking an accelerated admissions program? And I'm sure that's what some of you are wondering tonight, like how is this going to benefit me? Well, one of the main benefits you will have if you plan on attending graduate school is that you will not have to pay for the GRE or the MAT or take them. Those fees will be waived and the tests will be waived, and you can just skip them altogether. You also can receive, as I mentioned before, up to 4 graduate level courses at your undergraduate rate. So you will save time, you will save money, and you will be a year. If you do complete all 4 of those opportunities, you will be ready to enter your final year of graduate school once you walk off the stage with your bachelor's degree. So eligible students are enrolled in the undergraduate student program here at Appalachian State University and have a minimum cumulative GPA of 3.2. Students must be ready to enter their final year of enrollment in their undergraduate degree program with 90 hours completed by the end of the application semester. And I'm going to explain this in detail in just a moment. So students who are in the process of 90 hours will be reviewed and the attribute will be added. So this is probably one of the most, confusing parts about the whole process, but I'm going to explain it to you, so I'm so glad you came. Before we say that though, I want to let you know about the 3 things you're going to need that are very important before you apply. So you'll have to have your resume, and we have links here located inside this PowerPoint, which I can email to each of you after the presentation and any updates you might need. You can click on these and they will take you to the Career Development Center. This is also located on my Accelerated Admissions webpage if you guys want to access it later as well. You'll need 3 professional references. We prefer you to use collegiate type references such as work colleagues or professors or something of that nature. So not Aunt Sally, dear Aunt Sally next door, but someone that you work with here at the university level. And then you will set up your profile for the application in the portal, which is inside the graduate school website. I have some step-by-step instructions available for you here and more practices linked out about best practices from the Career Development Center to help aid you in these processes. So, oh, my arrow, there it goes. So the application term for which, this is the big question. This is what everybody comes to see me about. So this is, pay attention here and take notes. The The application term for which you apply is the term that's going to be post completion of your undergraduate degree. So the term you select to apply under, and this image is taken from the Graduate School Accelerated Admissions application site and my own, which is located, at the College of Education under Accelerated Admissions. There's a link to this. So what this is, for example, if you are going to graduate in spring 2022, you are going to apply for the following term. So the following term is going to be summer 1, 2022. That's when you'll be entering graduate school after graduation. But as you can see, that opens up on March 15th, 2021. And over here, this apply now will light up. So you'll be able to click on it and apply for that specific term. Now, I know that's clear as mud. So before I move forward, do you have any questions about this?
I have a quick question, but I think it's kind of self-explanatory, but I just want to ask to be sure. So this doesn't have to be within the normal academic year, as in you apply to start in the fall, so the beginning of a year. It can start in the spring or summer semesters?
Yeah, so what happens is when if you are when are you graduating?
I'm a bit unclear on that as I transferred in, and I also might take a semester off in between.
Okay. Well, let's pretend you're graduating in spring 2022. Once you have your 90 credit hours and you're in your semester and you're ready to apply. So let's say that's now. So you would apply in March and you would begin taking your classes summer 1. So you could take a class summer 1, you could take a class summer 2, maybe one in the fall, maybe one in the spring, depending on your program director's program of study for you. So that would include all 4 of your classes. Now, some people may choose to take 3 in the summer. It's really going to depend on what program you're in and how that works out. And the directors will be glad to answer those questions when we get to more specifics about that. Does that answer, hopefully, Anna?
It does, thank you.
Anybody else have a question about this?
Yeah, just a similar question I posted in the chat. Is there a possibility to take like a semester off in between doing the year of graduate school, or just curious about that timing.
Beth, have you ever had anyone take a semester off before finishing up?
Yeah, and so a couple of things. Let's say that you anticipate graduating in May of 2022, but you're unsure as if you want to begin the program that summer or that fall. Go ahead and submit the application for the term that immediately follows if you're unsure. And then as we get closer to time, what you can do is request that the graduate school change that term for you. And that's a really easy fix. Or if you're a person right now who says, I'm graduating in May of 2022, I know for sure I want to take summer off and I want to begin the program in the fall, then your application term would actually be the fall. Now, one of the issues that can occur is the further out you're applying, that application may not be open, and that may prevent you from getting that attribute early on. So again, you can always change that application term and move it. So Woody, Rebecca, any other points of interest to add there? Dr. Trathan, Dr. Shanklin?
Just that I have seen students that have taken that first summer off between student teaching and starting in the fall. And I think that's fine if that's something that students would like to do.
And just a follow up to that, kind of just about like timing of the classes, like I know that I'm going to have like a pretty packed schedule up until I student teach. Do we need to take those 4 during the undergraduate semester? No? Okay.
It's an option. You don't have to. That's one of the major affordances of this program, is that it does allow you the opportunity to take up to 4 if you want to. You do not have to take 4 classes.
Okay, but it would still be about a year to complete the program after that.
That's going to vary. That's where we're going to sit down,
Yeah, okay.
And talk with you. And that may make more sense as we move through the presentation, where we have some slides up that address those. But you all are asking great questions. So if we think we'll get to
Sorry for
that,
jumping ahead. Thank you.
yeah. So Dana, we'll talk about more specifically some of that in just a few minutes. Dr. Shanklin, Trathan.
Yeah, I think the year, think about 4 semesters. So that's kind of how it works out. And if we start in the summer, so it's summer, can be summer, fall, spring, summer, and that would be a year.
Yeah, and that's, go ahead.
Or a little longer.
And that's the beauty of this program. Dr. Fry mentioned, you can opt to take all 4 classes, or you can take 1 or 2, but that will extend your time after. Obviously, it would not be a true 4+1 program, but we're very flexible and willing to work with you on that. Any more questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So does each degree allow for summer classes? So any class is available during the summer?
We can only, in this meeting today, speak to special ed and reading education. And yes, there are courses. You really need to plan those and talk to your program director to see what's available. You need to choose the right things, but there are options in the summer.
Thank you.
Any more questions about how to apply, when to apply? Is that pretty clear to everybody?
I have a question.
Sure.
So I think I messed up. I already started applying because I was told that I should have started. So I started applying, but I'm graduating spring of 2022. So that application technically isn't open yet, right?
Yeah, so if you graduate spring 22, you are exactly what my image is on the screen. You need to apply March 15th. So mark your calendar for March 15th. And if you've already started your application, just contact the graduate school. Our contact over there is Victoria Karlberg. And Megan, I can send you that information via email if you want to hit me up on the email.
That would be great. Thank you. Because I already got some references and I was curious as how I would transfer that,
Yeah, she can fix you right up over at the graduate school.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I have that same issue. So if I could get the email, that would be amazing.
Yeah, you guys just shoot me an email and I'll have that and I'll respond to it with the correct information, and I'll pop that into the chat. And just shoot me an email. And if anybody else that has that issue, feel free just to email me and let me know, and I'll get you in touch with Victoria.
And Dana has a question in the chat. Just to clarify, as education majors, we can only do special reading and higher ed MAs. So yeah, that's an accelerated admissions program, Dana, but that's not to say you couldn't pursue other accelerated admissions program outside of our college, or even other MAs outside of the college as well.
Absolutely. There's, I mentioned earlier, a few slides back, that we have multiple programs here at Appalachian State, and just because you're an ed student doesn't restrict you to ours, but we are here to give information about ours. But you can reach out to the graduate school. They have the participating programs and links to the directors of those programs located on the graduate school website. Good question.
I had a quick question. So I went to an information session not too long back in January, and I guess now my head's a little confused. So are you saying that would we be taking any summer classes this upcoming summer? Or do you just start grad courses in the fall?
If you apply, are you graduating in spring 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you apply in March, you will get the attribute and you can start taking summer courses, graduate courses.
This summer?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. But you don't have to.
Okay. I'll ask about that later.
Yeah, if you have other plans, I kind of think you have other plans, Shelby.
I mean, I have been offered a summer camp counseling job. I would like to take it, but like if this is more like pressing, like if I can't finish my master's in a year without taking a summer course this summer, then like, yeah. But yeah.
Thank you, Shelby. Any more questions about this process and what term you need to apply? All right, wonderful. Well, with everybody pretty clear on that. And if for some reason you leave this meeting and you're like, I wonder what she said, please email me. I am so happy to talk to you and walk you through this process anytime. So, and I literally mean anytime. So just give me a shout and I will gladly walk you through it. So you'd like to be considered for accelerated admissions. How do you apply? So you get to meet with the directors and they are here tonight for reading and special ed. So you're very lucky. And you can talk to them about program specifics. And then you can go, this link right here takes you back to what I just showed you, the application availability. So those links will take you when it's time in March. Make a note on your phone or wherever to apply in March if you're graduating spring 2022, and that will be highlighted to apply. So complete the application for your desired graduate program so you can quickly ensure your proposed graduate program has time to review and make recommendations regarding potential admission prior to the admission term deadline. So the sooner you can do that and speak with these directors, the better off you're going to be in planning your course of study. So I have to move something on the screen for a second. Graduate coursework taken during undergraduate enrollment. So these are just some notes. Please note that graduate coursework taken as an undergraduate student at Appalachian during the Accelerated Admissions program can only be applied to graduate programs here at Appalachian. This coursework may not be transferable to another university since other graduate schools do not generally accept any transfer courses that were already counted towards another degree. Only courses with a grade of B or better can be applied to the graduate program of study with a limit of 12 hours, and that's those 4 classes we've been talking about all night. That's the 12 hours total, counting towards the graduate degree program in which you will enroll. And we just have a little note here for you to contact financial aid if you have any questions about how this may impact your financial aid. Excuse me, it's going a little fast. All right, so we've now entered toward the portion where we are going to talk about special education. And we have Dr. Rebecca Shanklin here, and she is going to take the floor.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you a few things and then we can talk about more in the breakout. Benefits of a master's degree in special education. A big benefit is that it prepares you as a teacher to meet the needs of diverse classroom groups. And we know that there is greater learner diversity in our classrooms than ever before. And so this will help you be better prepared to meet the needs of those students. If your undergrad major is outside of special education, this also gives you a second area of teaching licensure. It would be K-12 licensure in special education, which helps make you more marketable, whether you want to teach gen ed with just the additional knowledge, or you want the opportunity to teach either in gen ed or special ed. There are great opportunities to earn graduate certificates that will enhance your knowledge beyond what you can get in undergrad. I was just chatting with someone in the chat about how much there is to learn, and you just can't possibly do it all in undergrad. So there's opportunities to earn graduate certificates in reading, which leads to licensure in reading in North Carolina, in autism, emotional behavior disorders, or teaching emergent bilingual students in content areas. So you can fairly easily fit 2 certificates into your program of study. So you have to make choices. There's great options, but that's a good thing. And we also have 2 special education scholarships and 2 graduate assistantships that we offer during the year. And there are also graduate assistants in other areas of campus, working with college students or working in a number of different offices. And those graduate assistantships can help you pay for your master's also. So I will stop right there. And then we'll talk about more details when we go to breakouts.
All right, wonderful. So is it okay if I go on to the next slide?
I think Dr. Trathan was going to jump in right here.
All right.
Woody, you're muted.
Sorry. If you would hit the course requirements and certificate options. I just wanted to take a moment just to show you this document, and there is a similar one for reading education. And I put links in the chat so you can download these. Roughly for each program, we've listed required courses and then electives and the optional graduate certificates. Each program, the requirements are 24 hours. That leaves 12 hours electives. And most of the graduate certificates are 12 hours. So you could do one of those and it will fits right into your program. And as Rebecca Shanklin said, in some cases, people can even do 2 of these. So I just quickly, with the special ed, their requirement course, the required courses are law and leadership. There's a classroom management. And then you have some choices. There's a research requirement. You select one of those. There's a emotional behavioral disorder course. You have 2 options there: learning disabilities, 2 options; intellectual disabilities, 2 options. Practicum requirement, there's several that you can choose from for that, and then everybody does a product of learning. On the reading side, Dr. Fry has this information, so I'm not going to go through that now. You'll see that in breakout. In addition, with the 12 hours, you can do the autism graduate cert. There's an EBD cert, a reading cert that's a couple of extra courses, and then a bilingual cert. And below this information, it shows you the different courses. So I encourage you to download this, keep it, because it'll be a handy reference when you're trying to figure out what you're going to take and when you're going to take it.
Wonderful. Any questions? All right, I'm going to close that out. Return back. And you folks ready to move on to the next one? So, Dr. Fry, you have the stage.
Okay, I just dropped some information in the chat for you also. So master's degree in reading education. Rebecca, Dr. Shanklin just highlighted some of the affordances I think that you'll find across both of our programs. And before I speak specifically to reading, just for you all to know, we're really blessed in the way that we have both programs housed in the one department. And so we work really closely together in terms of planning our courses and aligning courses so that we provide opportunities for you all to pursue both graduate degrees as well as these graduate certificates. So why is a master's degree in reading such a great thing? Well, like Dr. Shanklin mentioned earlier, it allows you, qualifies you for a second area of teaching licensure. So if you're an undergrad majoring in elementary ed or special ed, middle grades, English education, whatever that might be, by earning your master's degree in reading education, that allows you to pursue your licensure at the graduate level and have another license in reading education, right? So that also kind of sets you up on that trajectory to become a reading specialist in a school should you choose that route. It certainly prepares you to engage the literacy needs of all students in your classes. And as Dr. Shanklin mentioned, especially those striving readers and writers. And that's an area of our program that you'll find we're really well known for across the state, across the Southeast, and I would go so far as to say across the country. We have an amazing reading clinic. It's called the Anderson Reading Clinic at Appalachian State University, and that offers our students opportunities to work one-on-one with students who are striving readers and writers. And that practicum setting is built into your coursework in our program. Also, as Dr. Shanklin mentioned, we have an opportunity for you to build your electives, should you choose to do so, around a graduate certificate, which would allow you to pursue a certificate in autism, teaching emergent bilingual populations in content areas, or emotional and behavioral disorders. And then additional affordances of our program, I would say, is that we offer 6 reading education scholarships, and we typically offer 2 assistantships. And then, let's see, Stephanie, if you'll advance the slide, I think Dr. Trathan had shared the course requirements. This is just an overview of what you will see in our breakout session. In reading education, we have 8 required courses, and then we have 4 electives. And so that's a total of 12 courses for 36 hours. And then we also kind of have the breakdown of those elective courses for you across graduate certificates. And then on the next slide, and we can go over this, you know, like I said, more specifically in the breakout session. But on the next slide, what I've done for you is also provide example programs of study so that we can work through different permutations for your specific needs. And in doing that, I've kind of allocated where those 4 courses that you might choose to take as an undergraduate, where those would go and what this would look like across semesters should you graduate in the spring semester, and then those of you that graduate in the fall semester. So yeah, we can talk more specifically about these programs of study in the breakout sessions if that's something people are interested in. But I know you like to have a course plan and to see when courses are offered and what semesters you would take those courses, and we can do that in the breakout session. And more specifically, we can do that when you email me to set up an advising meeting so that we can plan that program for you as individuals. Thanks, Stephanie.